All right, let's talk MSU basketball.
Okay.
Tough subject.
I know.
But that's on the board today. So let's do it.
I have a lot to say. So MSU currently, we're recording on Tuesday, December 6th. MSU currently sits at 5-4. Coming off some pretty tough games that I have a lot of notes on. Based off that record, do you have anything just off the top of your head to say before I get into breaking down the Notre Dame and the Northwestern game?
No, I think I'll get into a couple things. Like I don't feel as I think it's with the basketball season, there's a lot more room for error, right? Mm-hmm. So
yeah, you said that. Mm-hmm.
So me trusting Izzo is a lot. I find it easier to do, right? Like with football, it's like one loss and you're like, not this again, sort of deal. Whereas with basketball, you can kind of like, okay, fine. Like at least there is still time for Michigan State to turn it around, right? Like Absolutely. At least there is still that time. But yeah, just dive into it and I will share my thoughts along the way.
Perfect. Okay, so let's start with Notre Dame. So MSU travels to Notre Dame, and like I have written in our little document here, they literally just got punched in the face. They started slow and ended slow and played the whole game slow. They never caught up to where Notre Dame was with their energy and with their shooting. Izzo talked about, maybe they're tired, they had a red eye. I don't really use that as my excuse. I just think they were overall outplayed in every aspect of the game. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think that Notre Dame just wanted the game more.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't think, of the losses that Michigan State has had so far, with the exception of Gonzaga, okay? Now, even Gonzaga, actually, I think of the losses that Michigan State has had so far, this one seems like it is the most warranted, right? So, this one, if Michigan State could be, theoretically, I mean, and this is maybe just me, but Michigan State could theoretically be undefeated besides this game. Because I think that this is the one game where it sort of makes sense to be down, right?
They didn't compete.
Right, exactly. Because you just came back from the Phil Knight Invitational, bunch of tired guys, cross country sort of deal. I think that they could have won the Alabama game if they wanted to. I think that that's my first note. And then secondly, they should have won against Gonzaga.
Yeah.
Because, that game, it is what it is. And how that game went, right? We're going to excuse it. It's Gonzaga, whatever. But at the same time, they should have won that game. So it's like a gut punch. And so I think that of the losses, though, this Notre Dame one wasn't actually that bad because I thought that Notre Dame played very good defense, and that's sort of what held MSU off the board.
Yeah. Cormac Ryan on Notre Dame's team couldn't miss to, save his life. He was on the whole time. Shot 5, I think it was 5 for 5. He didn't miss. And we couldn't answer back. I mean, the Spartans couldn't answer back. So I don't ever like to say anything bad about Izzo because he's my main number one man, Izzo. But I have to say,
I got his number if you want to call him.
Not right now, because I'm about to say something kind of mean.
Yeah.
But
okay. Yeah, you don't want to.
Not actually mean, but why did he wait so long to call a timeout? I know he gives them a lot of time to figure it out themselves, which I like, but everyone says he's so good out of the huddle. Every time on TV, they take a timeout. And he's drawn up a play. The announcers are like, Tom Izzo is one of the best coaches out of timeout. He draws up the best plays. Why did he wait so long to call a timeout if he is such a great guy right out of the huddle? I see great things from him out of the huddle.
He doesn't know
why
when to
did he
call the
wait?
huddle. Maybe that's what it is. He doesn't know when to call. He doesn't. He asked Mr. Mel for advice, or even well, I don't know. It was
Mr. Mel.
Yeah, he called Mel up and he was like, "Listen, I need advice when I should call timeout." I think I'm calling him a little too on time. I think I should delay him a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
That was something that I thought that was controllable that they could have handled better. Obviously, you can't handle how Cormac Ryan is playing other than, to put a hand up in his face and stop some of those shots. But you can't stop the ball from going in the net if he's shooting like he was. But you can control when you take a timeout and reset the team. That was just something that I thought could have been handled better other than just playing better because they didn't play very good. Yeah, that was just my one note that I was kind of like, man, that could have been cleaned up. Last note about Notre Dame, and then we'll talk about Northwestern, which isn't going to be any better, but it was at least a different topic. Hogard led the Spartans in scoring. We'll talk about this again with the Northwestern game, but Hogard should not be our leading scorer. He is a facilitator. He should run the court, and that is something he's very good at. So why is he our leading scorer? That means that other guys were not doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is, scoring more baskets, like Walker and Hauser and some of those other guys that have been, up until very recently, pretty consistent with doing some of that.
Yeah, you're asking the questions, and I don't know that I have the answer.
It's okay. That was more of a statement. I just feel with
That's
the
tough.
end game stats, Hogard shouldn't be our leading scorer. It's great that he is. I don't mind if he's going to play out of his mind. But that leaves me noticing that other guys aren't doing what they normally do, which is outscoring Hogard and letting him be more of a facilitator up at the top.
Yeah, I think, and it's hard because at this point, I know last time we talked, were Hall and Akins really the glue that holds this team together? Mm-hmm. And I feel like at this point we're sort of past that, right? Like I know this team misses Hall, and we probably will touch on that a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, there needs to be more grit. There needs to be a little bit more toughness in some of these games.